students, and welcome to the lecture on customer satisfaction and service quality. After this lecture, we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the concept of service encounter quality. Define customer dissatisfaction. Explain ServQual and gap models application. Understand e-services. Explain the role of HR. Describe internal marketing. Define self-service technologies. Let's start with the introduction of customer satisfaction and service quality. Customer satisfaction is a business term, which is a measure of how products and services supplied by a company meet or surpass customer expectation. It is seen as a key performance indicator within business and part of the 4 aspects of a balanced scorecard. In a competitive marketplace where businesses compete for customers, customer satisfaction is seen as a key differentiator and increasingly has become a key element of business strategy. Customer satisfaction drives successful private sector business. High-performing businesses have developed principles and strategies for achieving customer satisfaction. The definition of customer satisfaction has been widely debated as organizations increasingly attempt to measure it. Customer satisfaction can be experienced in a variety of situations and connected to both goods and services. It is a highly personal assessment that is greatly affected by customer expectations. Satisfaction also is based on the customer's experience of both contacts with the organization and personal outcomes. Some researchers define a satisfied customer within the private sector as one who receives significant added value. Customer satisfaction is a highly personal assessment that is greatly influenced by individual expectations. Some definitions are based on the observation that customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction results from either the confirmation or disconfirmation of individual expectations regarding a service or product. Service quality. Defining the notion of service quality therefore starts from customers, as quality is all that it implies for consumers and the basis of their perceptions. Let us now discuss service encounter quality. From the customer's point of view, the most vivid impression of service occurs in the service encounter's quality or moment of truth, when the customer interacts with the service firm. This is the foundation to satisfaction of service quality. It is where the promises are kept or broken. The concept of service encounter was put forth by Richard Norman, taking the metaphor from bullfighting. Most services are results of social acts which take place in direct contact between the customer and the service provider. Types of service encounters. Quality. A service encounter occurs every time a customer interacts with the service organization. There are three general types of service encounters: remote encounters, phone encounters, face-to-face encounters. A customer may experience any of these types of service encounters, or a combination of all three in his or her relations with a service firm. Remote encounter. An encounter which occurs without any direct human contact is called a remote encounter. Phone encounters. In many organizations, the most frequent type of encounter between a customer and the firm occurs over the phone and is called a phone encounter. Face-to-face encounters. The third type of encounter is the one that occurs between an employee and a customer in direct contact. This is called a face-to-face encounter. Role of HR. The language of the marketing plan is one of goals and objectives, strategies and tactics, concentrating on the effective translation of the brand message to most of the key audiences. One uses the word most because very few purportedly comprehensive campaigns include strategies that address the fundamental audience and perhaps the company's greatest advertising vehicle, the employees. Internal marketing. Internal marketing is inward-facing marketing. Internal marketing is used by marketers to motivate all functions to satisfy customers. With internal marketing, the marketer is really extending and developing the foundations of marketing, such as the marketing concept, the exchange process, and customer satisfaction to internal customers. Internal customers would be anybody involved in delivering value to the final customer. Improved customer service. If one is running the business from an unknown or internet-only location, it makes one more anonymous. Increased employee involvement. Internal marketing contributes to improved morale and commitment among the employees. When one makes the effort to communicate information to workers on a regular basis, they develop a higher level of involvement in the ultimate success of the business. Did you know the ServQual service quality model was developed by a group of American authors? Parsu, or Parasuraman, Valerie Zetemal, and Len Berry in 1985. It highlights the main components of high-quality service. Now we will study customer dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction leads to a search for an alternative for the existing products, including services, or a change may be desired under the influence of a number of other stimuli, such as age, income, habits, interests, and knowledge about things available elsewhere. The needs of the customer are dynamic, and firms have to understand the changes in needs constantly to eliminate customer dissatisfaction entirely. There are many sources of customer dissatisfaction. Some are common to all businesses, while some are specific to various business types. Quality of product. If a product does not meet the consumer's expectations, consumers are very likely to be dissatisfied. This can be true of a customer whose new computer does not work right, as well as of a customer who does not like the restaurant meal. Speed of service as compared to expectations. If customers have to wait longer than they think is reasonable, they will tend to be dissatisfied with the company. Monitoring and measuring customers' dissatisfaction. Dissatisfied customers from overall satisfied customers requires the determinants of satisfaction and dissatisfaction to differ to some extent. However, research on the determinants of customer satisfaction often assumes that there is no difference between the causes of satisfaction or dissatisfaction. When satisfied and dissatisfied customers can be clearly identified in terms of a number of characteristics, like their satisfaction with particular service items or socio-demographic characteristics, this provides the ability to identify overall satisfied customers who possess typical characteristics of overall dissatisfied customers. These customers can be defined as latently dissatisfied, even though they report overall satisfaction. Let's now look at the ServQual and GAP models application. The ServQual model is an empiric model by service quality performance with customer service quality needs. Gap 1, between consumer expectation and management perception. This gap arises when the management does not correctly perceive what the customers want. For instance, hospital administrators may think patients want better food, but patients may be more concerned with the responsiveness of the nurse. Key factors leading to this gap are insufficient marketing research, poorly interpreted information about the audience's expectations. Gap 2, between management perception and service quality specification. Although the management might correctly perceive what the customer wants, they may not set an appropriate performance standard. An example would be when hospital administrators instruct nurses to respond to a request of fast, but may not specify how fast. Gap 2 may occur due to the following reasons: insufficient planning procedures, lack of management commitment. Gap 3, between service quality specification and service delivery. This gap may arise through service personnel being poorly trained, incapable, or unwilling to meet the set of service standards. Gap 4, between service delivery and external communication. Consumer expectations are highly influenced by statements made by company representatives and their advertisements. Gap 5, between expected service and experienced service. This gap arises when the consumer misinterprets the service quality. Handling complaints. Customers will call angered by a mistake one or a member of the team made. and employees will air grievances, feeling management has been unfair to them. How one handles these situations can make or break the company. Number 1, listen with an open mind. Hear what the person has to say without prejudging the situation. Number 2, repeat the problem back. When one sees where the complaint is coming from, repeat it back in their own words so the person knows one has grasped their position. Number 3, empathize and assure that something will be done, without admitting any fault on the part of the company or placing blame on anyone. Inform the customer that you would be unhappy too if you were in their shoes. Number 4, follow up promptly. As soon as possible, follow up with a report on what went wrong and the steps you plan to take to rectify the situation and prevent it from happening again. Service failure. A service failure, simply defined, is service performance that fails to meet customers' expectations. Typically, when a service failure occurs, a customer will expect to be compensated for the inconvenience in the form of any combination of refunds, credits, discounts, or apologies. Service recovery. Service recovery refers to those actions taken by an organization in response to a service failure in order to change customers' dissatisfaction to satisfaction and ultimately to retain those customers. Management should support service recovery in the organization, since poor or ineffective service recovery implies that the customer is let down for a second time. This could result in customers spreading negative word-of-mouth communication, defecting from the organization for a competitor, or rating organizations lower than they would have immediately been after experiencing the failure. E-service research has been primarily concerned with the provision and development of service between an organization and its external customers. E-service is the integration of business processes, policies, procedures, tools, technologies, and human efforts to facilitate both assisted and unassisted customer services in using the internet and other networks. Government provides services at different levels, for various governments, for private enterprise initiators, and for citizen access. E-services, a business concept developed by Hewlett-Packard, is the idea that the World Wide Web is moving beyond e-business and e-commerce into a new phase where many business services can be provided for a business or consumer using the web. Some e-services, such as remote bulk printing, may be done at a website. Other e-services, such as news updates to subscribers, may be sent to the computer. Other e-services will be done in the background, without the customer's immediate knowledge. HP defines e-services as modular, nimble, electronic services that perform work, achieve tasks, or complete transactions. Using HP's e-services concept, any application program or information resource is a potential e-service, and internet service providers and other companies are logical distributors or access points for such services. Advantages: fast, easy, and secure way to manage the payroll taxes. Simple one-time online enrollment. Ability to view and print returns, reports, and payments submitted online. Most of e-services for business is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Features: register for an employer payroll tax account number. Request the current and past 3 years payroll tax rates. Submit most returns reports online. View and print returns, reports, and payments submitted online. Make payroll tax deposits and pay past liabilities by electronic funds transfer, EFT, or credit card. Online consumer behavior. The phrase online consumer behavior describes the process of online shopping from a consumer's perspective. It is often described as the study of trends, including the influence of online advertising, consumer willingness to click on links, the prevalence of comparison shopping, among others. The decision-making process of an online consumer is often very different from that of a consumer in a physical store. Companies are increasingly studying online consumer behavior in order to adapt their sales and marketing strategies to appeal to the internet purchaser. Online sales have increased all over the world, with more and more shoppers looking to the internet before they head out to malls or other stores. In order to remain competitive, many companies are electing to devote at least some of their marketing capital to the online space. Companies decide many of the finer points of online sales, including advertising strategies, page layout, and ease of website searching by analyzing online consumer behavior. In many respects, the study of online consumer behavior is the study of the intersection between online consumers and online businesses. Analysts look at how consumers respond to various aspects of an online business and compare the factors that led to a consumer either making a purchase or leaving the website. The consumer psychology of making purchases online is usually a major part of an analyst's considerations. And analysts often conduct market segmentation studies based on gender, age, and relative sophistication. Sometimes the way corporations use behavioral data are straightforward, such as sponsoring links on certain sites, or optimizing home pages to appear more readily in search engines. Increasingly, however, market responses are more tailored to the consumer individually. Social networking promotions, interactive home pages, and special offers for subscribers of email or messaging updates are all examples of ways in which online consumer behavior has influenced the modern retail world. Self-service technologies. Self-service technologies means understanding customer satisfaction with technology-based service encounters. Self-service technologies are increasingly changing the way customers interact with firms to create service outcomes. Self-service technologies, or SSTs, are increasingly changing the way customers interact with firms to create service outcomes. Given that the emphasis in the academic literature has focused almost exclusively on the interpersonal dynamics of service encounters, there is much to be learned about customer interactions with technology-based self-service delivery options. These incidents are categorized to discern the sources of satisfaction and dissatisfaction with SSTs. Self-service technologies are changing the way customers interact with companies. As a result, one is seeing a whole lot of firms developing innovative SST with a hope that their customers are satisfied. Firms are experimenting with a wide range of SST, from web-based banking to atrocious self-service restaurants. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Customer satisfaction is a business term, which is a measure of how products and services supplied by a company meet or surpass customer expectation. Customer satisfaction differs depending on the situation and the product or service. A customer may be satisfied with a product or service, an experience, a purchase decision, a salesperson, store, service provider, or an attribute, or any of these. Quality-based service marketing strategy is sustainable, as practice has shown that not all competitors can achieve the expected service quality. In many organizations, the most frequent type of encounter between a customer and the firm occurs over the telephone and is called a phone encounter. The core purpose of the human resource function is to recruit and retain employees who believe in the company's mission.